Hello and welcome back to TheSadFan, where we talk about the good, the bad, and everything that made you sad from the previous week. And we've got blowouts on Monday night, but also an onside kick recovery. We've got number one college football teams going down, and Oregon finding a way to survive what could have been a trap game, and not just survive, but survive in style. Right, 35-0 in Purdue. We had some big matchups in the NFL, big matchups in the NFL, including a Super Bowl rematch. But we've got to start in the obvious place, and that is Army and Navy are undefeated, and they're both ranked. Both teams are ranked, I believe.
I saw this coming 20. At the beginning of the year. I told you.
You never said that.
I totally did. I totally said it.
You never said this.
I called it.
No, in fact, I don't think...
Play back the tape.
I don't think anyone on earth saw Navy and Army starting off their season undefeated. So there's a lot going on, and that was our fanfare, of course, for Army and Navy, making it this far into the season without taking a loss. But
should we play Reveille?
But we have a big game coming up with Notre Dame and, of course, Navy. And I think this game can be a playoff predictor, Wes. I think this game could be a playoff eliminator for Notre Dame also. If Notre Dame loses this game to Navy, I think they are effectively eliminated from the college football playoff, even with 12 teams, which I think the committee would absolutely hate.
I mean, I don't think Notre Dame should be anywhere near the playoff anyways after that loss to Northern Illinois.
They always find a way, Wes.
I really hope Navy smacks the crap out of Notre Dame. And I think they will. I think Notre Dame's a paper tiger.
I mean, they could be. We called out a lot of teams for being paper tigers last week. And they still could be. But Notre Dame has a funny way of doing this because people, for some reason, voters love Notre Dame. They love Notre Dame. They're obsessed with Notre Dame. The brand stands out on its own. Yeah, they haven't done anything since the 80s, right? No. It's almost 50 years ago. And the brand stands the test of time. The Golden Domers, they're basically like the religion that they represent. They just don't intend on going anywhere, and they're overrated. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. But it is...
No, you're not. But that's okay. I don't care.
It is funny that they continue to find their way, even with terrible losses, into the conversation at a minimum.
I mean, every year they do. It's like clockwork. They beat up on some crappy teams. They go on a 6-game winning streak because they're not in a conference, so they don't play anybody. And they get some airtime on ESPN, and it blows up from there, and then they find a way to choke when it matters.
And then all of a sudden we're back.
Yep.
And you simply just want to talk about the new number one. I know that. I know you're not super interested in the Army Navy. The whole world, the whole United States is interested in the Army Navy conversation, but not Wes. He just wants to, get into a flying V.
No, I mean, I'll make it brief on the Ducks. We kicked the crap out of Purdue. It's our first road shutout in like 20-something years. So we got a big game coming up against Illinois next. Now we can move on.
That. No,
yeah, we can move on. Yeah, you're welcome.
Super good in letting me finish the setup so we could get you to a joke, to a different topic. Instead, you had to hop in there and make it boring, which is exactly what a show like this wanted out of you. Which is what I was going for, was like, please give me the most boring explanation on the new number one as I set you up. Don't be excited.
There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff we need to cover.
Nobody wants to see you excited. It's okay. No. We'll get to what we need to get to.
You want to see me heated up? Then let's move on to the other shit that actually matters. Yeah, we know we kicked the shit out of Purdue.
Did you?
Yeah.
You probably should have lost that game. Got a tough game coming
up. The
Spoiler
makers. Oh, the Spoiler makers. So scared of the Spoiler makers. Yeah,
I think they were.
Big Ted, they kept talking about how the Spoiler makers, they ruin everyone's undefeated season. Well, guess what? We shit on that.
Did you?
Because we're just built different. Yeah, we're used to Arizona and Arizona State in the desert. Are you kidding me? We're not afraid of Lafayette, Indiana.
Why aren't you worried about the game this week?
We're afraid of Tucson and Phoenix. Those places are scary hellholes.
Because they're hot, and Oregon's not used to that heat.
Yeah.
Don't make Oregon play in the. Everybody's talking about how hard it is for Big Ten teams, to go play in the Midwest, but not Oregon. They were born into the cold.
Yeah.
All right, so they do have a matchup coming up against Illinois this week, and I think this could be the real trap game because Illinois is traditionally not a good football team, and this year they're having a season just like Indiana. So
I'm not worried though. It's at home.
That's the one thing I was trying to get to. Why? What is it about Autzen Stadium that gives it some gravitas? The reason why?
Fudge. It's loud. You won't let me cuss on here, so it's loud as fudge. It was built to be loud.
You curse a bunch of times.
You can bleep that.
So, I think I'm excited about it. I think Oregon has a fast track into the playoff right now. I think they have a fast track to the number 1 seed. They may have to play, Ohio State again?
Yeah, probably. Or
they may have to play Ohio
Penn
State
again.
Or
whoever. I mean, but it's going to be a good team, and, it's going to be in Indiana or Indianapolis.
In college football,
the Big Ten championship, and I wouldn't be surprised if we dropped that game.
You mentioned, I know but I think you're just setting yourself up so you don't have to experience severe sadness. So you're setting it up right now. You're like, I don't know, man, the Big Ten championship might lose. I think in your heart of hearts, you don't believe what you just said. You don't want to lose any games. You believe in Oregon completely.
Well, so here's the thing. If we do lose, then that means we get a home playoff game at Autzen, which would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, would you go?
Yes.
Because it'd be the first home playoff game that you'd be able to go to.
100%. 100%. I'm going. I'll see you there.
So you'd rather lose for the home playoff game? That's an interesting. That's actually an interesting take. No. Stay there. Stop it. Stop being neutral. That's a good take.
You want content? Let's talk about Texas, Georgia. You dumbass.
No, it's fine. We're gonna get there. Obviously, it looks like Oregon has a path to the playoffs. Possibly a bye week. We'll see what happens. Maybe you'll eventually get that Oregon home playoff game that you're gonna get to go to. But for now,
we still got some big games coming up, though. We're playing at Michigan, and I know Michigan sucks this year, but
that's not a big game this year.
Dude,
we don't even know who their quarterback is.
It's at Michigan, though. I'm like, it's a road game at the big house.
They don't even know who their quarterback is going to be. So that's the thing. Like, we could say it's a road game at the big house, and you know what other team you said that about this season, Wes?
What?
Texas. You said that about Texas this year. And Texas rolled into Michigan and beat the brakes off Michigan. Okay?
They did.
It's not the Michigan team you're accustomed to seeing. They lost this weekend.
Yeah, I know. They've lost some games, but they've also won like some good games. Like they're not a terrible team. They are not a terrible team. Okay, they are better than Purdue. I think they're better than Illinois.
Let's break down your analysis just now. Yeah. They've lost some games, but wait, they've also won some games.
Okay. Yes, they have.
Good analysis.
Yes,
Great analysis there.
Thank you.
Okay, but you know what? Let's break down something that happened in the Georgia-Texas game that you reminded me of, because it wasn't as big once it happened, and I think it's because, I think I'm correct here, the NFL destroys all things. The NFL takes on all comers, and it makes you forget everything that happened from the previous week. Like, the New York Liberty won their first ever championship, and it didn't get the
Sabrina,
ratings.
baby.
Yeah, and it didn't get the ratings it should have gotten. You know why? Because the Jets-Steelers. What? The Jets-Steelers? The NFL just rules all in the United States. It really does. And it makes people forget that there's other things going on. So, Wes, let's talk about this Texas-Georgia call that impacted... Well, it didn't really impact the game. Georgia still won. Georgia still beat Texas.
So here's the thing. You obviously, because you had to be in the flow of the game to really understand like what was going on, and you were busy sound asleep because it was like 4 a.m. in England time, and you're kind of a baby. How can we
ever understand the sport we've watched our entire lives?
But so here's the thing.
The flow of the game.
Texas was coming back, okay? They were trying to make a comeback. They get the pick, and then it's called back for defensive pass interference, and it's clear it was a bad call. All right, but here's the thing, though. In college and NFL, it's not reviewable. The NFL stopped reviewing pass interference years ago. Like, they tried it for like 1 or 2 years, and they said
1
no.
year. They did it
1 year. Yeah.
Throw a challenge flag.
Yeah, they stopped that. So, like, pass interference isn't reviewable. And they were about to snap the ball. Georgia was about to snap the ball again, but Texas fans started throwing water and beer bottles on the field. And then because of that, they had to take a delay of game. And then during that delay of game, the referees looked up at the Jumbotron. They saw that it was a bad call, and then they proceeded afterwards to overturn the call. And then they didn't even throw a flag on Texas, the home team, for delay of game for the fans, which they absolutely should have. So not only did they let the fans bully them into taking a delay of game and overturning their decision, they didn't penalize them. And that could have easily put Texas back to within 1 touchdown. It was a terrible call, but okay, it was a terrible call by the officials on the field, but it was a terrible decision to overturn it and let the fans, the home team fans, bully you into doing your job. Fuck that. I'm sorry, but no. That is this officiating crew needs to not do another game all season. I don't care. You're trash. Presuming. No, they're garbage. They let the home team bully them. They let the fans bully them. What does that say? Next time a team thinks they have a bad call, you want to know what they're going to do? They're going to throw trash on the field because they think that'll give the chance for the referees to look up and see, oh, maybe that was a bad call. Okay, I'll overturn it. That sets a terrible precedent for not only college, but the professionals too, for the NFL. It's bullshit.
So you're assuming in this bleeping BS rant that you go on that they weren't always going to determine this, and that the fans throwing trash was just a side effect of what was always going to be overturned, right?
It wasn't gonna be overturned if the fans didn't do that. If the fans didn't throw trash on the field, it never would have been overturned.
How do you know that? But how is that?
They were about to snap the ball. They were within a second from snapping the ball until they had to stop play because there were bottles on the field. They were lined up. They were in formation.
Has a play ever been stopped a second before it was snapped? Has that ever happened?
Yes, but guess what? When was the last time they did that for pass interference?
I don't know.
If they were gonna change their decision, they would have done it in the initial huddle because they came together and they decided in a referee huddle that they were gonna call pass interference. And then they got together, they did the formation, and then they paused the game. And then they looked up. They saw it, they got together, they huddled, and then they decided to overturn it. So absolutely that delay of game caused them to overturn it. It sets a terrible precedent.
I don't know.
And you're an idiot if you think otherwise.
I can tell.
So you're okay with just the home team fans bullying the referees.
Hold on, the voice
This is
broke.
the Wild West, apparently. Fry wants the Wild West in football.
The voice broke. I don't know if the audience heard it, but the voice broke, so that means it's very serious right now. I heard
yeah,
the
I'm
voice
fucking
break.
pissed.
All right, so Texas was fined $250,000 for this.
Should have been more.
It should have been more. They didn't win the game, just so the audience knows.
Yeah, they don't deserve to because they're trash.
They're
Texas straight trash from Austin.
He did not score on the play. They would have been inside the goal. So we're assuming that he would have scored. That there would have been a score. There wasn't. I mean, I think there actually was. Did they end up scoring off this?
I think they got a field goal.
So we're assuming.
No, they did get a touchdown. They did get a touchdown. I think
they were down by more than one score when it happened. Okay, I've seen many a times when a call gets corrected. Now we have the eye in the sky for the NFL, right? Where they're just going to tell them immediately before the play gets started, hey, you got that call wrong. And they'll reverse the call. Okay?
That's not how that works. That's NFL. College doesn't have that, bro.
I understand.
They don't have an eye in the sky that can be watching 100 games at once.
I understand that. However, they looked up at their own eye in the sky, which is the overhead cam, and saw they got a call wrong, which is going to happen. And
you want to know who put that there? You want to know who put that on the Jumbotron? Again, the home team.
And I would rather...
Again, they let the home team bully them into overturning their call. Yes, it was the right call to overturn it, but the fact of the matter is they let the home team and its fans bully them, and it sets a terrible precedent.
Hold on,
Absolutely.
There's a third point I'm going to make right now. So sense of precedent is acting as if this has never happened before. This has definitely happened before. Like
when?
Just because you're...
When?
Just
Tell me your time. Tell me your time, Mr. Encyclopedia.
You sound like a terrible leader in an organization when somebody comes to you with a complaint and you go, "Did you write it down? Did you write down every instance of this ever?" No, because normal people don't do that.
Look at the reactions on social media. Everyone agrees with me. You're in the wrong. You're in the wrong. You're in the minority. You're in the minority here. That's it. You're in the minority. You're in the minority.
Social media is always right. You nailed it. Social media is always correct.
All the talking heads on ESPN and CBS and Fox and NBC, they all agreed with me too.
Who do I agree with, by the way?
Even the announcers agreed with me. Everyone, you're in the minority. And guess what? You didn't watch it, so I don't want to hear your bullshit.
So here's the deal, and I did watch it. You made me watch it in the pre-production.
You watched a clip.
But
you needed to be watching the game.
I've been on this earth and around this sport long enough to understand what happened. Is it fair? I would argue either way, to be honest. Would it be fair to Texas that the call got made? No, probably not. Is it fair to Georgia that they corrected the call in the way they did? No, probably not. But I'd rather the call get made correctly. That's what I'm telling you. And
then
they made the
maybe
right call.
We should have better referees that make the right call on the field, and not pussies who let themselves get bullied by the fans.
Just so you know, the right call was made on the field. All right, that is how that ends.
Your opinions are awful. Your opinions are awful.
They came about it in a way you didn't like, Wes. That's the only thing that happened. The right call was. Would you agree that was the right call?
If they had made it originally, yes.
Wes. That's not what I asked.
Here's the thing.
I asked
per the rule book, pass interference is not reviewable.
Okay, that's not what I'm asking. And they didn't review it.
Yes, they did.
No, there was no review. There was no official review. Wes, there was no official review. So, you looking at a Jumbotron is not an official review.
The review was instigated by the fans.
So again, let me ask you. Was the right call made?
No.
So that was, in fact, pass interference by Texas?
No.
Okay, so the right call was made?
No.
Wes, you can't have...
The right call was to let it... The right call was to let the call on the field stand. The wrong call was made originally, and then they made they made another wrong call to overturn it.
Ultimately, was that pass interference?
2 wrong calls don't make a right. 2 wrong calls do not make a right.
Okay, Daddy, calm down.
Yeah.
Was that pass interference or not?
Yes, but 2 wrong calls don't make a right. And I'm going to stick with this forever.
Yes, it was pass interference on Texas.
Huh? No, it was not pass interference.
Okay. What was the end result of everything?
The end result doesn't matter. It's how they got there.
The end result doesn't matter.
It's how they got there. It's how they got there. That's the issue. That is the issue, is how they got there. How are you not getting this through your thick skull?
Wes, let me tell you, I watched a Raiders playoff game.
2 wrongs don't make a right. Your dad taught you that. Come on.
With Rich Bisaccia.
I'm done with you. I'm done with you. You just can't get it through your skull.
Wes, hold on. I watched the Raiders playoff game against the Cincinnati Bengals, and I believe the Cincinnati Bengals went on to play in the Super Bowl this year. I can't recall. But anyway, there was a whistle blown.
Are you done?
And all the Raiders defensive backs stopped playing. And Joe Burrow threw a touchdown pass. Okay, the whistle was blown. It was an inadvertent whistle, but all the Raiders stopped playing because the whistle was blown. They counted the touchdown, Wes. That's the incorrect call. And you know what call they kept? The touchdown, Wes. So you're not going to convince me that they don't make mistakes. In this case,
they do make mistakes.
In that case, The correct call was the touchdown is waved off. There was an inadvertent whistle. Play stopped.
Human mistakes have been a part of officiating
and that play was
since
never
the dawn of
corrected,
time.
Wes. That play was never corrected. This was corrected. And you know what? It didn't impact the game at all.
Yeah, it didn't impact the game, but it's still bullshit because it sets a precedent.
No,
Yes.
it doesn't. No, this
Yes, it
game's been
does.
played for years
Yes, it
and years,
does.
Wes. Years and years. You think this is the first time it's ever happened just because we can't think of it, just because we can't remember? I don't.
The two announcers who had been commentating for decades.
Said that. Do you think they ever
said that's
say
the first
things
time
that-
they've
that-
seen anything like that.
Yeah, I say stuff like that all the time, and I'm sure that if I look at my Rolodex of things that I've actually seen, it's probably not the first time. So grow up, children.
But
all
you
right?
remember those big things.
I'm telling you, this is not a precedent-setting moment. But you know what is? Russell Wilson putting up 37 points on Aaron Rodgers. That's a precedent moment.
He's done that before. That's
I'm
like,
joking,
that's old
Wes.
news to him.
It is a joke to move us forward.
Are you joking?
So, Wes,
Not joking.
what is Russell Wilson's home record against Aaron Rodgers?
Undefeated.
Undefeated. Where did he start that?
Seattle. He was our
What do I-
messiah.
This made me laugh when I saw that it was Russell Wilson starting against Aaron Rodgers. And it made me laugh because I still remember when...
Who would have thought it would have been Steelers Jets if you had told me a couple years ago?
Who would have thought I would be on Russell Wilson's side if you had told me a couple years ago? Okay? Because I remember one of my favorite quotes was Aaron Rodgers, after he beat Russell Wilson, going to the media and going, well, I guess God was a Packers fan today.
Yeah.
Because Russell Wilson...
And let's
always
be honest,
thanks God.
Russell had a little bit of his diva moments. He had plenty in Denver and Seattle, but I think the last year or two has been eye-opening and humbling for him, to say the least.
He's not good anymore, you know? And
the last game says otherwise. It shows he's still got something in the tank.
Well, you in one game sample size. You and a one game sample. Give Wes a one game sample size.
That's all we have. This was his first start of the season.
We do not have just one game.
That was his first start of the season.
He was pretty terrible for the Denver Broncos, Wes.
Yeah, he was also injured.
Bad. Whatever you say, man. Whatever helps you guys.
Look, I have no idea if he's going to be good again, if he's going to return to his former self, or if it was a fluke game. I don't know. But the thing is, he played well, and so he deserves the opportunity to start and show us if he can continue playing at that level.
What would you say about him replacing Justin Fields, who had only lost 2 games at that point?
Justin Fields is trash.
I mean, I agree with you. I'm not going to argue with you, but
he hasn't done anything this season.
I'm making you refocus on your logic. The logic you used was bad, but you know what my logic is in this? Mike Tomlin's a good head coach, and he made the call. So I trust him. Yeah, Justin Fields is not having a good season. He's been bad. So good for Mike Tomlin making the change and being correct in this change. Now, there's a forced change in the NFL. You aware of it? It just happened. There's going to be a forced change at the quarterback position for the highest paid guaranteed money quarterback in the NFL. Do you know what that forced change is?
No idea.
It's the injury of the gods, Wes. The Achilles tendon bursting.
Oh, that's where you're going.
All right? It's a forced change. God forced it.
Something we can agree on.
You know, and I was sending you a couple memes, and this is something I'm gonna be real. Like, I'm not a big injury celebrator because it can happen to anyone. I could walk out and pop my Achilles. You know, this is a terrible injury. However, it's a terrible injury to a terrible, terrible human being.
Yes.
And Myles Garrett said he did not think that the crowd should have been so hard on Deshaun Watson as he was.
The crowd?
Hold on. As he was, we're gonna get to that. As he was an upstanding citizen in college, and you ready for this? Wait, hold on, Wes. The end of his statement was, and most of his career in the NFL. And the funniest thing about Myles Garrett's statement was, everybody took that most and was like, wow, that most is doing a lot of work. Because he is a terrible person who abused or at least is accused of abusing well over 20 women.
He was an outstanding citizen on the field. Off the field, he's a serial rapist.
He's an allegedly, and it's and you and I have talked. We've talked about
his career. His career isn't being a serial rapist. His career is playing football, and he was an outstanding citizen during his career. Yeah,
allegedly again, but over 20 allegations is a lot. Okay,
isn't it over 25?
It's a lot, Wes. I'm trying not to get this number wrong.
I lost count.
It's enough for me to look at that person and go, there wasn't some club that got together and was like, let's accuse him. You know?
Yeah.
He's a bad person. And regardless of how far things went, they went too far for someone to go to the police and feel trapped by you. Now, you know who else felt trapped by him? Cleveland Browns fans. Which led to them booing him after he got hurt. Now, the Cleveland Browns fans are not off the hook here, Wes. They're not off the hook here because I don't forget the things that you guys did. You guys were awful people. Not all Cleveland Browns fans were awful, but those of you on social media, you were terrible. Okay,
some really bad signs.
Happy endings aren't illegal. A guy out there with his son with a sign that says she's lying. Way to teach your young man how to be a gentleman in society and how to be an upstanding citizen. You terrible human being.
And you want to know the reason why the majority of them booed him? Because he sucks. That's why. And they don't care about the person. They care about the player.
We saw that it's an organizational issue. Some organizations are just always going to suck. A la the Jets. All right? So we lost Deshaun Watson. Jesus. Aaron Rodgers loses again, even though he's got Devontae Adams and Hassan Reddick back.
I'm not done with Deshaun, okay? I would much rather him lose his career over legal issues. Like, I would much rather him have just gotten suspended and never picked up again. That would have been so much more deserving. I mean, like, I don't like rooting for injuries.
Yeah, I mean...
And, like...
I feel dirty when it happens and I'm happy.
Yeah,
it happens,
I feel a little
like
dirty.
A bad person.
But, yeah, like, I hope his career is over.
It is.
Because he doesn't deserve to play football.
Insurance is going to pay him out now.
He was given an incredible gift, and he decided to be an absolute piece of crap for it. And I feel bad for whoever is, like, contractually obligated by the team to give him, like, ankle massages, like, when he gets his surgery. Like, I really hope it's written in his contract that he has to get massages from a dude.
Yeah, all of those memes are already on Facebook. Yeah. They are Facebook. Jesus, I'm old. They're already all over X. All right, they're there. So
that's
everybody's making that same joke. Everybody's making that same exact joke. All right, let's really quickly rattle off some things. Vikings Lions, Wes. Tell me about that barn burner, because that was an amazing game to me. Wow. Sam Darnold's for real, I guess. Sam Darnold's for real.
Sam Darnold's for real, but Jared Goff is
for real.
he has done so much better than I ever thought. Like, getting out of L.A., like, I'm happy for him because he was not that great with the Rams, but he has completely reinvigorated his career, and their kicker is solid. He put that through no problem, and
they're crushing it.
I think Lions have a really good shot at finally winning it all this year.
You know, their kicker is a crazy story too. He's like United States Football League or the USFL, and he was like homeless, or no, he was working as like a car part salesman. Who tried out for the USFL, made the USFL, and the Lions saw him, and he was just the best kicker in the USFL, so they signed him, and now he just made that kick.
Yeah, that just nailed him millions of dollars in bonus, I guarantee you.
So
good for him.
He's a solid story, big one. We also had Louisville, Miami, which was a fever dream. That third quarter was insane. The third quarter in the Louisville-Miami game was crazy. It was like 21 points apiece or something.
And you know what's crazy? Okay, so Miami's tight end, Cameron McCormick, he's on his 9th year of eligibility. And I would know because he played for Oregon when Marcus Mariota was there. Marcus Mariota, who graduated in like 2014.
I think Louisville's quarterback is on his 7th year of eligibility as well, by the way.
Yeah, Tyler Shuck, also a former Oregon dude. What is it with these Oregon burnouts who insist on just getting 8 years of eligibility? Like, bro, come on, move on. You have 2 PhDs now. Go do something with your life. Like, you have kids almost ready to start college.
Look at Cam Rising. Cam Rising's going to be back next year.
Jesus, like, when is it going to end? Like, I mean, good for you for milking the system, but...
Threw everything into flux. Now, Wes, I do have something that I'm almost, not quite, as emotional as you about as it pertains to the 49ers and the Chiefs, Wes. I don't think a quarterback should be allowed to fake going out of bounds and then keep running because the defense is afraid to light him up because of the penalty.
In the words of Fry, knock his block off.
Yeah, I think, and I thought that, literally when I saw that happen on the sideline, when Patrick Mahomes took off on the scramble, and I think it was Dre Greenlaw, kind of like pulled up on the hit, and then Patrick Mahomes, instead of going out of bounds, takes off down the sideline and almost scores a touchdown, and I was like, no, light that dude up. Light him up. Like, and you know why they do it?
I think it should be the same thing as like a fake slide, penalize it.
Yeah, he's a running back at that point. He's a running back. Sorry, yeah. or if he visibly gives himself up, that's it. Plays dead. Blow the whistle.
Yeah.
He visibly gave himself up. You clearly see the 49ers linebacker slow down and just get in front of him and not try to make the tackle. And Chiefs fans are going to say he overran him. No. I've been playing this game for a long time. I've been watching the game. He literally pulls up and just gets in front of him so he doesn't kill Patrick Mahomes. Because he had him dead to rights if he wanted.
Oh, yeah.
And he pulled up to not get the 15-yard penalty. So that's I hate that. If you want to get me on a pass interference, that's probably not going to happen. I'd rather get the call right. But a quarterback being able to get away with faking out a defender by pretending to give himself up, that's dirty. That is dirty. And it is within the rules, but that is poor. I'm sorry. Like, in the locker room, that is poor form. To pretend like you're going down or going out of bounds and then to just
poor
keep running.
Sportsmanship, yeah.
It was crap. That one made me really mad when I saw it live. And they were talking to their Patrick Mahomes, such a great athlete, blah, blah. I was like, no, that was crap. That was not fair what he just did. The defense obviously didn't want to hit him to get the penalty, and then he just kept running.
Yeah, I don't agree with it either. I mean, either let him light him up or flag him.
Yeah, 100%. Or blow the whistle. It's dead. Sorry, you gave yourself up.
Yeah, it's
just same as
you were going out of bounds. Yeah.
All right. No. Really quickly, Wes, are you excited about Indiana?
Yeah, they kicked the crap out of Nebraska. Wow. I guess Kurt Cignetti and Indiana are for real.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had told me at the beginning of the season that they'd be 7-0, I'd be like, no, bro. No. No.
There's another one, right?
They're playing Washington this week, and game day is going to Indiana. That's going to be fun.
Are you going to go to Indiana, Wes?
I am. I got my tickets. I'm a Hoosiers fan now. Go Hoosiers.
All right. Well, maybe if they lose a game, they can have a home playoff game. All right. So, anyway.
You're such an idiot. Such an idiot.
Let's get to baseball. Let's get to baseball really quickly. They got the series they want. I want to bring back Chelsea, Wes. I want to bring back Chelsea because Chelsea's the only Yankees fan I know. It's weird. They might be one of the most popular teams in all of the United States of America, but she's the only Yankees fan that I know.
Well, it's like the Cowboys. Apparently, they have the biggest fan base in the NFL, but how many actual Cowboys fans do you know?
Yeah, well, a lot. Unfortunately, I know a lot of Cowboys.
I honestly don't know that many. Probably because if you tell me you're a Cowboys fan, I just immediately assume you're a terrible person. I can cut you out of my life.
Like automatically. That's funny. That is funny. So how about these long-suffering Yankees fans? How long has it been since the Yankees have gotten to make it to a World Series?
6 years? I don't know.
No, I'm saying they're acting like they're so long-suffering, like they've suffered so much, and oh my God, we deserve this. They have the highest payroll in all of baseball. And you know what, Wes, do you know how many championships these fans have?
Like 20, I think?
27. The Yankees have won 27 World Championships. Okay? Enough. All right? I'm happy for you. I'm glad the Dodgers made it.
The Dodgers have won 6. They're so downtrodden.
So I'm saying, and I think they won 2020, right?
They did. They won COVID. Yep.
So they even have a recent World Series.
Yeah.
Also, Wes, where would you say these two payrolls stack up?
Both in the top 5.
They're number 1 and number 3 in payrolls.
Shocker. I thought the Mets were number 1.
So Dodgers, I think, are number 1. Yankees are number 3, I want to say. Or vice versa. It's one of those. All right? So
not surprised.
I think this is what MLB wanted. I think it's going to be a very highly rated for baseball. For baseball in 2024, which it's not America's sport anymore. I think this is going to be a huge gainer for MLB, though.
We'll see. I mean, I'm probably not going to watch just because I don't give a rat's ass about these two teams. And there's football and stuff to watch.
You know what? And I think they scheduled the games for NFL days. I think it's in college football days. I think the first 2 games are Saturday and Sunday, which are just crazy to me. Because they could own the weeknights. They could own the weeknights. People would tune in. I don't know what they're thinking. But you know why I'm going to watch some of these games, Wes?
Why is
Aaron Judge, Soto, Giancarlo Stanton, and your boy, Shohei Ohtani. I want to see these players play against each other. I do. I want to see how they do. We got Garrett Cole pitching for the Yankees, pardon me, which is going to be fun to watch. I think this is going to be a fun series.
Oh yeah. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Monday are the first 3 games.
So Monday Night Football, college football.
Yeah, and then Friday there's always a football game on.
Yeah, but I think it might outdo Friday because it's usually not an amazing game. Last week was exception to policy, but we'll see, man. We'll see. Are you excited about any games in college football this week outside of Oregon and Oregon, Illinois?
Let's see. I think I mentioned Indiana. That's going to be a killer game. Let's see. Boise State is back in action. I actually really looking forward to watching Ashton Gianti because that dude's a killer. That dude's a killer.
Heisman frontrunner.
And then it'll be interesting to see how Oklahoma bounces back now that they fired their offensive coordinator after throwing like 3 picks in the first 5 minutes of that game.
Because it was the offensive coordinator's fault.
It's really bad. And then we got Texas Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's good this year, so we'll see.
Yeah, that could be an upset.
Alabama, Missouri. Alabama might lose their 3rd game this year.
Man, and you know what, Wes? LSU, Texas A&M. That is a game. That's another game that could be a playoff eliminator right there.
It is. That's going to be fun.
I'm excited for this sports weekend. There's a lot going on. Go ahead, Wes.
Oh, I was going to say SMU and Duke. Duke is 6-1. They're sneaky. They're sneaky. And
You've
SMU,
already said
Pony Express, baby.
You said SMU is sneaky good a couple weeks ago when they played Florida State as well.
Well, now they're not sneaky good. They proved it.
So do we have 2 sneaky good teams playing? 2 sneaky sneaks? Do we have 2 sneaky sneaks?
I think that's the underrated game of the week. Okay, I think that's going to be a killer game, and everyone should be tuning in.
You got a spy versus spy theory right now going on with your SMU Duke takes. You got a couple sneaky teams playing against you. Who's the sneakiest? Wes, I gotta ask you a question now. Now we're here. Does the sneakiest team win in the battle of the sneaky sneaks?
Well, so here's the thing. You get YouTube TV, you get multi-view, and you watch 4 games at once. And then if you're even crazy, you get 2 TVs, and you do 2 different multi-views, and you watch 8 games at once.
Create your own Octobox.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us each and every week. We appreciate you here at TheSadFan, and we look forward to giving you the update next week.
Adios.